This video will show you how to make a log file in Tracka. So we're currently sitting in the sandbox project at the moment, as you can see from up here. Now in order to create a log file, you come across here and you click on log files. Now it's come up with a list of pre-existing log files associated with this contract and with this project. Now you click on add new. And we have the log file wizard here, which is very similar to the contract and project wizard. Now these details on the left hand side here, you can actually preset by going into your account, clicking on my profile, going to personal settings, and you can set your standard shift duration, your standard start time, which contract you usually work on, and whether or not you normally have a day, night or split shift. As you can see here, you may also choose when you receive emails regarding different elements of a project. So if there's a safety issue, you can check it so that you get an email. When a log has been updated, you can check it, and so on. So now we'll go back to log files, add new. We're working on the scaffolding support contract. It was an 8-hour shift, it was a day shift. The weather was wet. And it was also pretty overcast as well. And the temperature was only 10 to 18 degrees. Now click on next. Just a reminder that if you have any issues at all within Tracka and you're not sure how to do something, come up here to support, click on page help, and then the help file will come across the screen, and that'll explain everything that you can do on that page. So here we are with the safety questions. Were there any safety questions? No. And you can see how that went green. That means no is the preferred answer for that question. Were there any quality issues? No. Were there any commercial issues? Yes. So the foreman forgot the keys, and that was our commercial issue for that day. Click next. So this is the area breakdown section of the log file wizard, and this is where we can assign this log file to different sections of the WBS. So if I click on expand all, and then click on the section I want to assign it to, I can now choose to update the percentage complete for this area. And this is the estimated physical percentage complete. So think of it in terms of if you had 10 truckloads of earth to move and you'd moved 6, then you would be at 60% complete. So I'll set that to 75. Now in the work category we have defined, variation, unavoidable delays, and internal delays. So defined scope is all good, but if you click on any of these other options, then it'll come up with a title and reference for you to expand on further. However, this all fits within the defined scope, so I'll click on that. Then I go down to activities. This is where I write out what actually happened in this section of the WBS today. And the resources used for the work carried out. So we have direct labour, indirect labour, subcontracts, and equipment. So for direct labour, we had 7 hours. We had 5 hours here. However, Norman was on site for an extra 2 hours waiting for Rob to arrive because he was late. So he was sitting around for 2 hours of idle time. So that's very handy if you want to add idle time for machinery or labour. You can actually track how long something has been sitting on site and not being used for. Material for the shift, all the scaffolding has already been delivered, so that's all good. You can click here for adding new material if you require. Milestones met this shift. We don't have any. There were no milestones for this section of the WBS or for this contract, so that's all good as well. Now if you wanted to add another work item, you can click here If you want to delete this work item, you can click here. We just want to save and submit. And now we're up to the supporting documents screen. So I can add files. Click on Start. I can edit the description as well, so it's easy to find later on. Click on Next. And then this brings me to the review screen, so I can review all the details of that log file. And now I can finish and lock. So you can see here, we have log file number 16, date 27th of the 2nd, which is today. The status is locked. Now we can either clone this, we can view it, it can be printed, it can be shared externally, or you can edit it. Sharing externally is handy if you want to send a copy of the log file as a PDF out to another party that doesn't have access to Tracka. Now it's also important to remember that you can create log files on the companion application. It's a very intuitive interface. In fact, it's probably much quicker. Now it's important to remember that you can also create log files on the companion application. In fact, it's quicker to do so on that. It's an intuitive interface and it is much easier to do it on the application than it is on the computer. That is what the application is designed for. And that is how to create a log file in Tracka.